And can you just tell us more about เป็ดไทยสู้ภัย Thai duck fighting against COVID-19?
Right.
What is it exactly?
Actually, the Pet Thai Su Pai is like a network of a startup community.
What do you call it in English? เป็ดไทยสู้ไทย I mean, I try difficult.
Thai duck fight against disaster.
Okay, so it can be used in any situation, right?
Yeah, that's
not
what
just
we
not just against the coronavirus.
COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Why pet? Why duck?
Because many people always like talking bad about Thai startup that we are like dog,
I
doing
see.
everything but we cannot do anything good.
Especially for CEO.
Okay.
Yeah, CEO,
Yeah.
because CEO startup we do everything like
Okay.
chief everything
Okay.
officer.
Alright.
So they say, oh, you are not good at anything.
You can fly, but you cannot actually fly. You can swim, but not actually swim,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but actually what we try to show, we use the word duck because
Okay.
we think although we cannot do everything good, but we can connect them good.
All right. So,
We can connect and keep the target
Okay.
and deliver. That's what we use these words.
when exactly did you come up with the idea that you need to have this app to help Thai, fight against this threat from the coronavirus?
Actually, we talk about the health situation and startups about few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, for some time, but we haven't talked about this. But few weeks around the late February and early March.
After the outbreak of the
Yeah.
virus, right?
Yeah, and we discussed and we said what we could help to do. We know that we play social media, and we would be like one of people who always complains. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why don't these people do this, do that? And we said, and why don't we do?
Okay.
So we said what we discussed.
So you started asking
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, as an association, because we come from Thailand Tech Startup Association,
Okay.
Yes.
and we said as association with a community of startup, what we could do to move and do something for this situation.
Okay.
And that's why we come up with the Pet Thai Super
Okay.
concept.
Yes. So how does it work? People may be wondering where the idea from. You like to fight against this disaster, but how does it work really?
First of all, we try to focus what we can do first.
Okay.
So we focus to 4 things that are that we can make it happen for real, by no need to wait any kind of supporting, but we still need that supporting, but we can start it first, then ask for supporting later. 4 kind of things. That is the first one.
Yeah, actually, he say, we start up like startup way.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we first asking what we should do. We try to investigate and get insights from the expert, and we try to draw questions the problems really what the problem is.
Okay.
And we found that the problem now that we are facing is we don't have enough resources, especially medical resources, to fight against COVID.
I see.
We call it มดงาน and works.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we said as a startup, but we can do what we can do. We can try to be a firewall, and because we good at like sharing economy or do this
Okay.
kind of thing, we try to manage this resource effectively with our system. So we have said, okay, we have
Okay.
2 targets. First, how can we help to filter only the people who really need the resource to reach them? And another thing we are good at trying to make people stay home because we deliver everything, we
Okay.
serve with them everything. So
Yes.
if we can keep them stay home, we can get a social distancing, and with that one we can reduce the R0. So with these 2 targets, we say, okay, if we want to reach these 2 targets,
I see.
what we could do with our effort and our budget. So each of us, we don't have budget, we use our own budget. So we work like, okay, no one have to lead, just go for this target. Whoever can do that, do. But we
Okay.
give a framework for 4 types. First, we do like contents. We try to deliver and educate people to know that what content should be. Because we know that in this situation, for the crisis management, we have to do 2 things, trust and social psychology.
Okay.
So we try to build a content to build trust and make them to feel like, okay, it's okay. Try to communicate with them. We have ชัวร์ก่อนแชร์ team, and we
Yeah.
have our Department of Disease Control helping us to prove
Okay.
the content.
Yeah.
And once they get the content, we do the filtering. With the filtering, we have 2 levels. First layer, we filter with the questionnaires. So they answer the question. If they're high risk, we have a doctor on our teleconsult platform
Oh, I see.
to communicate and give the consult and ask whether we should send them to the disease control department.
Okay. That's real time. Real time.
Yeah, real time. And then with doing that, we can help filter only people. And without, if they are not that risk, we can communicate them like, hey, stay home 14 days, calm down, eat good, eat vitamin C's, eat good, and keep updating us. If anything happen, tell us. We bring them you to the doctor. So that's what we did.
Okay.
And so we do like content, filter, and then follow up.
Okay.
So we follow up them, and at the end now we are constructing. We are looking for the partner. We would like to deliver anything for people to the home, medicines,
Okay.
or because we don't want to see people who is normal, but get just like stomach ache or whatever, and they cannot come to the hospital because a lot of COVID cases there.
I see.
So we try to solve general practice problem or NCD, diabetes, heart disease, or those kind of high blood pressures. These are like sensitive people. They don't have to come to the hospital to risk. Stay home. We try to help
And
them.
these services are all in one application.
Yeah, I try to show the application.
Actually, this one
Yeah.
is the filtering.
Filtering.
We try not to build apps.
Okay.
We try to see whoever can do
I
this,
see.
just go for this target with this framework. If you do anything of app, like if you do like claim they're doing like motorbike for surveyor, they can convert the bike to deliver drugs to the home. So you do whatever you can do. You don't have to come to us. We are like a network, sharing the same goal, sharing the same framework of thinking, and do that.
Yeah. So far since the launch of เป็ดไทยสู้ภัย Thai Duck fighting disaster, what's the obstacle or what's the problem that you could see?
Actually, we still need some cooperation with the government as well, with the big corporate too. So the next step that we need to do is make it like everyone can join this one and make it bigger and affect to more people.
Yeah.
So right now we can just support for
Right,
not
so-
You mean
thousands
to
people, but,
mobilize more input from people to fill in the form and share information?
Actually, that is just a first entry point of the platform, but
Yeah.
we will have more after this. But this one is one thing that people know about this platform,
Oh, I
and
see.
make we know the process, the total process that we need to put something more inside it, and something that we need to ask for some help from corporate, from government. We will ask that and put it to the platform. This is the concept.
Imagine that if, as I mentioned before, we want to keep people stay distance. And we look, for example, if I have to quarantine for 14 days, it's quite torturing if you stay home for 14 days and cannot come out. But instead of like we saying that, hey, you are diseased, you stay home, don't come out. How can I help you to get through these
I see.
14 days?
So
With ease.
the communication channels to the outside world for those who
Yeah.
quarantine themselves.
For example, if you can deliver some food for them and ask them what we could help, entertainment or whatsoever to make them pass these 14 days,
Yeah.
we can make a distance.
Okay.
I think many people can do, or even just do, okay, I listen to this guy, I don't know what to do. Apply social distancing in your life, and you
Yeah.
can help us reduce the R0.
Yeah.
Let's
like
show
what
to,
we are
yeah,
doing right
yeah.
now.
So let's
Yeah.
show to our audience how they can access the
Yeah. Actually, I try to do, but I'm stuck in the middle because I have to fill in something. Yeah.
Actually, this one is like an MVP, but still can
Yeah.
work. It's like
Okay.
startup thinking. We
I
make it
see.
quick. We try to meeting less, doing more.
Okay.
Action first, move fast, and then we try to review. The new version is coming up. We are developing a new version. But this
Okay.
one is the earliest one because we want to make sure that we can get some people and get some these data. These all data will be sent to the Department of Disease Control. We are not focusing for you to test, but we're focusing to filter, as I mentioned. So if you want to test, you can go for live VT testing
I see.
or whatever. But we want people who want to be filtered and check whether you need a help from us. Come.
Yes.
So that's why we're focusing on that. So it's quite different from testing, but we want to filter out.
So it means that you like people, you encourage people to use this platform rather than just going right away to the hospital.
Yes,
Right.
that's right. Because they are busy enough to deal with the severe case. So we try to protect them. Yeah, trying to help them to support with these.
Okay.
Actually, after
Yeah.
this one, when you do the test and get the result, if
Okay.
you have a high risk
Okay.
about the virus, we have a volunteer, doctor and nurses using consult and direct to you at home. You
Okay.
can consult them about what happened to you and you really need to go to hospital or not. If you want something more, we will do those
Okay.
to
Yeah.
them. Just
The Kunatha is trying to access the
Yes.
the application or the website, I mean, so that you can
Trying
talk
to
more
find
in
it.
details about
Yeah.
how people can access it. No, but I try to access the application, and I think I found the entry point, the one that helps you find out for yourself whether you are you're infected or not, right? So how often do people come in to use that service?
Oh, now
Which is,
just only 36 hours that we launched this one.
Yes.
Now more than 5,000
5,000
people come.
Yes. About 36 hours, just
Yes.
about 1.5 days.
Yeah, and 5,000 people.
5,000 people.
So what's the data that you can gather so far?
Actually, now we gather the data that telling us about the risk and then the high risk, and all these data will be passed to the Department of Disease Control because they need to collect these and try to follow up. Although today you are not very high risk, you are
Okay.
maybe medium risk, but we will keep follow up you to make sure that if anything happens, we have your history
Okay.
to tell them what happened to you. So we work quite closely with the Department of Disease Control.
Okay.
They help us to decide these.
Yes.
So you certainly want to assure people who want to access your service that their personal data will be kept confidential, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We have the process to know that who can access to these data.
Okay.
And then only the doctor who take care of this case will take care of these data and pass to the Department of Disease Control.
Just wondering who are the people who use it in the past 36 hours. I guess that must be young people who are quite familiar with technology.
Variety.
No, I'm wrong.
Variety.
Yeah, variety.
Variety.
And,
Yeah.
around 21% that the risk is higher than the score that we set.
Okay.
So we pass them to Dr. Telemet.
I think now more or less around 400 people in the risk of the high risk that need
I
to
see.
see the doctor before going. Because if we leave these people, they will be feel anxious, worried, and they go straight to the hospital and they still worried whether they get infected or not. So
Okay.
we try to let them talk to the doctor first.
Okay.
So most of them, they are not that serious.
Yes. I'm
So
glad
we
that
can help
I
stop
was rated 0 risk. No coughing, no runny nose, I mean no sore throat. I mean,
Yeah.
So you have to work in tandem with a group of doctors, of medical doctors from different hospitals.
Actually now we haven't got that many hospital. We are trying to use our friend, family networks to do. And for some nurses and doctors, we go to Chulalongkorn University and we get some support from School of Nurses and Faculty of Medicine to provide some doctors and some nurses to answer as well. Because some question we don't know how to deal with the patients. So
Yes.
if you put inbox to our Facebook, the nurse will answer you.
I'm sure the startup in many countries are trying to work, like trying to collaborate as well, like digital minister of
Right.
Taiwan. So far, have you talked or have you kept in touch with other
All the time.
countries? Yes, all the time.
No, actually, as I just mentioned, we starting early this month and it's
Yeah.
just 2 weeks and a half.
I think every country have the
Their
same
own problems,
problem.
right.
Yes, they try to solve their own problem. It's
Yes.
a full hand already. So, but I'm not sure how about the startup ecosystem can help about this problem in each country. But for our country, we do what we can do first. So let's see. We may not the best way to solve the problem, but at least we can do something.
Yeah.
I think there are too many things for people in Thailand to do to solve. We just would be like a part that we can do at our efforts. And if I just always say that people say, okay, maybe people do this already. Why you do that? Why do you do that? I say,
Okay.
I don't care whether people doing the same thing. I'm afraid that no one finish it and no one make it in time. I think that would be the key. We fighting with a virus and time. Virus doesn't have a meeting. Virus doesn't sleep. And virus doesn't sign the MOU or do press conference. So that's why we didn't do that anything so far.
Okay. So everyone has to play his or her part in helping with this.
I think that would be time is the key.
And how many members of the startup grouping in your group in this project
Many.
around Thailand?
A lot.
Yes.
Many people come from marketing also help to do the contents and digital marketing, social monitoring, whatsoever to do that. And we got support from friends who is doctors who do that, telemedicine doing that. We have people who do like CRM. We have people to do like, and with startup who could think that they could do anything, they do that.
Yeah, some CEO went and coding by themselves, do some articles
I see.
by themselves. So
Even CEO come to code by themselves. We fight with
I
the
see.
speed.
I'm sure you have friends or colleagues in ASEAN countries as well, right? Other countries. Do you coordinate with them, work with them on this?
No, not yet.
Sharing experience, maybe in Malaysia, for example, you have a representative there, right?
yes. Actually, I talked with my team about what the situation there, but the most that we try to learn about is from China more.
Okay.
So what China can pass through the situation of the third phase that is what we cared about and some idea we got from that and make it happen. This one is the first thing that we do. As we told you, we have a 4 type of focusing. The others will come more soon.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is just the beginning of the whole project of
Yeah.
เป็ดไทยสู้ภัย
Yeah, we try to form up the framework of thinking, targeting, and just roughly the guidance to do. But because I think it's quite important, because it's about the design. We always think that if we do like a lot of technology, we try to force the technology. But actually, technology itself can do many things. It depends on the concept. You can do technology with the excluding concept, like you are diseased, I'm not, I'm clean, you are dirty. With this kind of thing, you will track and say you are bad people, you go quarantine. This one we try to exclude people to the problem solving. But we try to say, hey, how do we live together with happiness, and how do us and Thai people get through this? We try to do it with an inclusive concept with this. So that's why we try not to talk a lot of advanced technology. We try to talk a lot what we do this and why we need that and what we try to do. What's the target? That's how.
So this is Facebook of the เป็ดไทยสู้ภัย Thai duck fighting the disaster. So can you explain a little bit so that our viewers can know how to go into this?
Just explain this one first.
Okay. So with this one is a content that we try to people to digest easily with the content, how to filter themselves and check themselves whether they are risky or not before going to the questionnaires.
Okay.
This is a roughly like roadmap.
Okay. So entry point. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And then when you scroll down. I like Chapabin K48 up there.
This one.
Yeah, and then we share the news like which tech. We try to check with the news.
Good news. We have the checking.
We have anti-fake.
Anti-fake news too.
Anti-fake news
I
too.
see.
Yeah, show on share teams help us.
Yes.
And Department of Disease Control also help us to check. Yeah. And if you go further, we try to share many things like.
Do you have friends or people you know that get infected with coronavirus? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Lucky.
Yeah, and this
Lucky.
one we try to promote social distancing. Yeah, so we try to educate people what important and why we need to do social distancing.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's the power of unity can help us get through these
Yes.
problems.
So it means you also give information. What's the best practice right now for
Yes.
people to fight with COVID-19?
Yeah, because people always get digest from. We know that as an official organization, they cannot talk like a human. I mean, talk like a people because
That's right, they are-
because they have some rules and
Uh-huh.
legal try to block them, so
Okay.
they have to talk anything like official.
Yeah, very official. Yeah.
We try to make them unofficial
Okay,
and
you
get
simplify the
Simplify.
statements they make. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay.
what we try to help them.
In fact, you need to help the Prime Minister, Kun Prayut, also to simplify the statements he makes.
Yeah, that's what we try to digest as well.
So this is the gateway, isn't it, to get into เป็ดไทยสู้ภัย
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a
Okay.
questionnaire.
This is something I'm sure you want to recommend people to go to, right?
Yes.
This is the first real test of.
Yeah, and if you test it, make sure that once you are high risk, we will have doctor to contact you and give you consult
Okay.
and tell you what to do next.
I see.
So I think that's the key. If they feel relaxed,
Okay.
we can control the social psychologies, and with that one, we can move
Okay.
as a
Yeah.
unit.
Okay.
So-
So, in fact, the question that you asked in this questionnaire, I believe that exactly the same question the doctor would ask you if you go to see the doctor physically, right?
Yes.
The same question that
Yes.
that you'll be asked anyway. Did you cough or not? Do you have pains? Do you
Yeah.
have a runny
Yeah.
nose? Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that exactly. But we still give teleconsult with the real doctor because doing with questionnaire, but talking with the people give different feeling to the patients.
We got some comment. Kun Hanna said, right now it's time to apply the digital technology not only to continuously study but also seamlessly work. So she agreed that technology works in this situation.
Need to use.
Need to use, yeah, at scale.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So far for 36 hours, you said you have about 400, 500,
5,000.
5,000 people.
Doing this questionnaire.
That's
5,000
fast.
more.
That's
So
fast.
nearly
So it means you
6,000
have
now.
a group of data, big data, to analyze COVID-19.
Actually now we still use manual to contact.
Yes. 6,000 cases is still small.
Yeah.
But you can be sure that more people will come to you because they can no longer go to nightclubs or pubs after tomorrow, right? So that we have a lot of free time.
We have a team of nurses and doctors trying to pick up people and to call to make
Okay.
the contact and try to consult.
Video call.
So
Yeah.
Video call.
So once people have finished the questionnaire,
Yeah.
the answer will appear with the doctor, the hospital.
The high risk people
risk
will
people.
alert to the doctor to
Okay.
pick up and get back to that
Uh-huh.
person.
For free.
For free.
So it's like shortening the time for people
Yeah.
who have to see the doctor.
And maybe people who like just like want to go to maybe if not COVID. I mean, we are playing if the worst case we reach the phase 3, the worst. Now maybe not worse, we can use this way. If the worst, they go to the phase 3. At least this platform can help them consult with the doctor
see.
with other diseases. Because they don't have to come to the hospital.
I
Yeah.
see. So do you, of course, people have been speculating about the possibility of the country entering stage 3 of the outbreak, right? And for you, how do you anticipate the situation? How do you prepare to deal with the situation if it comes to that stage?
At first.
Do you have any ideas as to what kind of
We're expecting the
features, and what kind of new features will you put into your if there's a lockdown and then
Yeah.
Yes, everything
Yes.
that we have planned is stage 3 already.
Okay,
So
all right.
everything we plan for that.
you have planned for the worst already.
Yeah, we try for the worst.
And the content that we try to make up is how to live with that stage, how to pass through
Yeah, how
that situation. And with the technology that we can provide for them, some service that a startup can get together and service to all people that
Yeah.
make that pass through the situation.
Yeah, I always said that we work like open platform. We open for every people to come to join, and we also work like open source. Whoever can copy this idea and do their own.
Okay.
We don't afraid people to do the same thing. We afraid it's not enough to hold the.
Do you mean to have
lot.
new app to generate more apps?
Yeah,
This kind of
Actually have
fact
many
checking.
apps already.
We have many
right
apps
now.
already.
Tracking app, like a mapping app for identify
Or
where you can
tracker.
buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a pity that you don't have this in English yet, right? You have only in Thai. So that's why we have this program tonight to talk about this, so that our audience who can speak Thai and understand Thai can relay the message to their foreign friends
Right.
that
Yeah.
there is this app, there is this service that they can depend on. I mean, to seek advice on how to deal with the situation. Right?
But do you plan to make the app in English as well? Because some foreigners who live in Thailand perhaps they like some help in the future.
Haven't got in our mind, but
Yeah.
because well, so far many answer maybe we cannot answer because
Yeah.
what we did is just think, do it, and
Okay.
change, keep moving, keep agile because we haven't got to really see what is the real solution. Like startup did, we try to get inside action and test,
Keep changing.
Yeah.
keep changing.
No, but I think the question from Kuntatha is quite interesting because you may want to think about not yourself doing it,
Yeah.
but you can talk to agencies that can come up with the English version of this
Yeah.
service, right?
I
And this could be a contribution to the worldwide
Yes.
efforts to fight
Yeah.
the outbreak, right?
For example, who wants to do in English, contact us.
Ah, okay.
And then,
All right.
And then we
It's a
give you-
limitation,
Actually,
Yeah.
as a digital, it's easy. We don't talk you do what you do. We talk what database format we need.
Okay.
So you talk to us with the database, and we connect
Yes.
to the database,
Okay.
and you just do in English. That make it scale quickly.
Yeah. Maybe the Thai government itself should be interested in adopting this in English,
Yes.
so that it could be a
Yeah.
contribution to the fight by other ASEAN countries against this
Maybe after
threat. Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
This session, maybe Department of Disease Control maybe contact us. Hey, can you help to do
Yeah.
We work with them.
But
already.
be more than happy.
Yeah.
Be more than happy.
Yeah, I have to thank you, Department of Disease Control, very much. DEPA, Department Digital Economic Promotion Agency, NIA, National Innovation Agency. They support us a lot and they work with us quite close,
I see.
very closely. We discuss every day and we move
Okay.
every day, and we deal with the problem every day.
Yes.
They are more agile. They are more agile than I expected.
That's great. That's great.
So we have been talking about how you want to
Collaboration.
help other people cope with the situation, right? What about yourself, your friends, your families? How are you coping with the situation, Kun Nang San?
Actually, we do, for pet content, we do everything that pet try to.
Okay.
to-
You follow the
Yeah,
suggest
follow
the
them.
advice.
Because of all contents come from many doctors, come from disease control department as well. So this is a very good content. Just follow up and
Okay.
make ourselves safe from this disease.
And you keep social distancing.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
In fact, we forgot to
Suffering
ask you
for-
to. In fact, before we started, we forgot to ask you to clean your hand with our hand gel.
And we just
Clean.
clean up.
Yeah, and for our business as well, we do teleconference. We provide something work at home for many
Okay.
companies
Yeah.
already.
And we eat separately with.
No, for you people, let's start up working from home is nothing new. I mean, you have been doing that for years, right?
Yes.
So how would you think the whole thing, that what kind of lesson should we learn from it from the startup point of view?
I think we have to learn that. For me, I think it proves two things. First, our infrastructure. I mean, our fundamental of country maybe not ready,
Not strong enough.
not strong enough. Not only for the government, but I mean for the community and whatsoever. We have after this time we have to come to revisit, talk to each other more, and try to think constructive. How can we prepare the fundamental? Because many people say that this situation reflects the culture of each country. You can see from the culture that they
Okay.
reflect. So this reflects our culture. The more you say that the worse it is situation, the worse our culture is. If we want to make it good, we have to reconstruct and think about our culture, common culture together. I think this is what I have learned.
Which particular part of the issue you mentioned that that you seem to concern you the most?
I think trust and exclusive. People always exclude people. We have to talk like how we live together.
More inclusive.
More inclusive.
Yeah.
I think that part that touching my heart, and the more we work, the more we feel. I feel
Yeah.
that.
But right now we've been told to isolate ourselves, to try to have self-quarantine.
Yeah, isolate is a good inclusive. Right?
Yeah.
We isolate, but we still can work.
Yeah, right.
If we stop communicate each other, economic will fall, and we will die with because of economic rather than COVID, right? So we have to come the thing again. As a country, how can we live together with social distance? Like if we people cannot get congest onto the bus, so the company has to understand that the bus cannot contain a lot of people.
Okay.
So the company has to relax the time. So as a society, we have to think how can we live happy together with ease with the social distancing. I think this is the very big problem that we have to come and think.
Okay. Kun Aung San, what do you think we should learn from it?
From my thought, one thing that I have learned, the pity things, if a startup ecosystem in Thailand is strong more than this, if we have the big guys from startup area, we may can solve this problem faster than this. We're not strong enough. That is one thing, and everywhere, every country have this kind of problem. And the one that can move faster than others is a startup. So if we have the stronger ecosystem of startup, it may help our country faster.
Yeah.
Because
You
our
mean to-
character move fast and
Yes.
agile.
I think as far as handling the immediate situation is concerned, I think the health authorities have received very good mark for their performance, right? I mean, the way they reacted, the way they treat people, but I think it's the executive branch, the political side of the whole thing that has been heavily criticized. So from your point of view, how do you see the situation? How do you see the leadership, the political leadership in handling this situation? This shouldn't be too difficult a question for you.
For my thought, I think we can do something. If we just ask someone that and a way to see someone can solve this and make people pass through this situation. That is just we wait for fortune. So
we need leadership, right?
Actually, leadership has many levels of leadership. If we just wait for Prime Minister to do something, for others something to solve this, I think too late for us. So we can do
at all levels.
Very well. And if we move something, something will make an impact. At least just small, but many level of leadership can do something. Something can happen. And if the leader one can using every impact and do some direction that may move everything together, I think it may be good for solve about the situation like this.
Panachit, you want to comment on this?
For me, I think we need to ask the right question. If we ask like, hey, I think it's about the leadership. Okay, how about if today government announce dissolve, if today government announce no one work, we resign, what would happen? I try to think this way as well. I think it's not good for anyone in Thailand at all in this situation. So, but if we think that, okay, probably problem is at the communication. How can we help to communicate with form government better? How we help to create trust and good social psychology together. That could help us. So that would be the right question. So if you ask the right question, we will find the right solution. So okay, now probably we lack of communication between government, the good communication between government and people. How can we help to communicate better and direct at the right way? So I think we go from this way rather than to say, okay, he may doesn't have good leadership for some people, but he may be good for some people. who's right, I don't know. But is it the right creation that we
Okay.
can solve this problem? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
That's right.
So this platform is like a bridge between
Yeah, yeah.
citizen and the government.
Yeah,
You provide
try to be-
channels of
because we are dark,
communication.
we
We
can
adapt.
connect.
All right.
Yeah.
So from tomorrow night on, no nightclubs, no pubs. It's okay with you?
Yeah, we never haven't got any time.
Every night we do cold calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, till late night.
Yeah, we
every night.
talk until 1 or 2
Okay.
at night, discuss, because we also have to do our own business to do, and we also work from this. Now we work like nearly 24 hours.
So after
Yeah.
this whole thing is over, and we hope that it will be over soon, we pray for that too.
Yeah.
So
Fingers
what
crossed.
what do you think the thing that you have done so far, the application, your idea, how this can be pursued for future use?
I think for me, at least what we have seen is government who work with us, they try to start to do the same format of the data.
Okay.
Because this part is about the data exchange that they have to make for us, and we are like a glue to help them exchange with each other. So we think we're gonna have a solid practice, and we will realize that how good the data is. So government will try to integrate the data better. That's what I think we will leave. And another thing is, from the startup itself, now we gather together more packed than ever that I've seen. And with this one, we still think that probably if we have to face this kind of situation again, hopefully not soon.
And hopefully not again.
We have a good practice, and we have a centralized way
Okay.
to do that. How can we help together to solve?
Learn
These are
something.
two things that we learn and we
Yeah.
expect to get after this.
Yeah.
Kunansan, you just say that perhaps the government will know that they have to revise some law or change
Sure,
of
sure.
ecosystem for startup. What do you reckon?
Something that if we pass this with not a bad situation happen, and after this end, I thought that government may learn something from this, and some law maybe need to change. Like this situation, some regulation cannot use right now. Like a teleconsultant, actually we do by not allowed by law. As this is some kind of
Yeah.
example. So after this one happen, we will learn together, startups and
Yeah.
government, and some laws maybe need to change, and some kind of technology that are limited by regulation need to consider about that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would suggest is, when we talk about the end of this situation,
Uh-huh.
how can we define the end? I don't see the end. I think maybe the disease stops spreading, stops outbreaking,
Yeah.
but we still have a lot of work in
Yes.
recovery time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to say that, okay, stop outbreak
Yeah.
and they say no.
Mm.
We have been suffered for too long, and we have a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
So
that's
with
true.
this injury, how can we together recover fast
Yes, that's
and
true.
come back even stronger? I think we have to learn.
Yeah.
Everyone, every
Yeah.
single one in this country.
It's true. And then the economic impact from the crisis also will be quite long lasting.
Yes.
And for example, in the US, when people have started talking about the possibility of a recession very soon. And President Trump also admitted that there is such a possibility. So that's one big challenge awaiting us, and I'm sure that you start up like yourself will have a role to play in addressing that issue.
I'm sure we still have a lot to learn from this crisis, because crisis is still far from over. I think
Yeah.
perhaps 2 more months. But thank you very much for joining us
Thank you.
tonight. And let's take a look what World Health Organization have reckoned for us, for all of us to fight against COVID-19. advice from World Health Organization. So make sure to stay safe, wash your hands, and keep social distancing from the person next to you.
And then before you go to bed tonight, go to the website or the application of Pet Thai Soup Thai and self-check
Yeah.
your condition.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Panachit and คุณรังสรรค์ for joining us. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับ
ค่ะ
Okay.